Hi guys, so today we're going to be making our pancakes. This lab focuses on measuring. So let's go ahead and start off with what are our measuring cups and what do we use. So in a standard set of measuring cups, you have four. You have a 1 cup, a half cup, a 1/3, and a 1/4. So those are my 4 measuring cups here. In my measuring spoons, I have teaspoons and tablespoons. Remember, table is bigger than teaspoon. So I have a 1/4 teaspoon, a half teaspoon, 1 teaspoon, and 1 tablespoon. Now, what do we use these for? I have these for my dry ingredients, these for small amounts of dry or liquid. And then, well, what do we measure our liquid in? Our liquid measuring cup. So these come in 1 cup, 2 cup, and 4 cup. Today I am using a 2 cup. That's very important when we're measuring so that we're not measuring 1 1/2, we're just measuring a half. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we are gonna measure all of our dry ingredients. We are also going to be weighing our dry ingredients. So first you're going to measure them, and then you measure by volume, and then you are going to weigh. So I'm gonna start off with my flour. Now, the big question is, how do I measure my flour? So we do not want to scoop in because it packs our flour down, which doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but it does change the consistency of your product. So the very first thing we're gonna do is 3/4 cup of flour. If you remember, I didn't say we had 3/4, so we do have to do some adding. I'm gonna take a 1/4 plus 1/2 to get myself 3/4. Now, when I measure my flour, I'm going to scoop in, and I have overfilled. I'm now going to take my straight edge spatula. I like to kind of chop, and then I level off so that I have a nice flat surface. And I'm gonna put that to the side. And I'm going to do the same thing where I spoon in my flour, and then I'm going to overfill and level off. Now that I have my flour measured, I need to weigh it. So what I'm going to do is I have a scale here. I'm going to turn on, and once I'm there, it's going to zero out. I am then going to put a bowl on top. But if you can see, now it is taking the weight of my bowl. So there's this button that says tare, and I'm going to tare it, and you can see I go to 0. Right now it says FLOZ. That means fluid ounce. I want to measure in grams, so I'm gonna wait till I see that G. So again, you can see it says 0, so now it's only taking the weight of my flour. I'm gonna pour in my 1/2 cup, and I'm going to pour in my 1/4 cup, and it says that I have 107 grams of flour. So you guys should have a sheet of paper where you need to measure all of your dry ingredients like this, and that is where you are going to put your answer. Now, the magical thing about this is all my dry ingredients need to go in here, so I'm just gonna hit tare again, and now I can go ahead and just keep adding my ingredients so I don't have to pause, because I'll be able to take that weight. So the next thing I'm gonna do is 1 tablespoon of sugar. So I'm grabbing my biggest spoon. Again, I'm gonna scoop in, and I'm going to overfill, and I'm going to level off. Pour that in, I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna see that it says 11 grams, and I'm gonna tare it again so that I can go ahead. The reason I wanna make sure that I'm tearing it out is so that I get accurate measurements of all of my ingredients. Now I'm gonna go in with some baking powder where it tells me I need 1 1/2 teaspoons. This I am going to just go ahead and give it a little scoop and a level off. That is my 1. I'm gonna do my 1/2, and I level that off. I see it says 8 grams. I'm gonna tear that out one more time, and I'm gonna do my salt, which I'm going to do 1/4. So I'm going to grab my salt. You guys can see that I'm not doing any measuring over my bowl because God forbid I accidentally overfill and it goes in, then I don't ruin my product. So the salt barely reads, it gives me 3. So I'm gonna clear that out one more time, and then I'm adding my last ingredient, which is my nutmeg or cinnamon. I'm gonna go with cinnamon because I prefer it. It does say 1 pinch. A pinch would mean that I'm going to scoop a little bit out, and I'm going to literally take my 2 fingers and take a pinch and put it in. If you would like more cinnamon, that is totally fine. You can add a 1/4 of a teaspoon or a 1/2 teaspoon. I would not go over 1 teaspoon. So now I have done all of my dry ingredients, and you guys can see I'm kind of cleaning as I go here. I'm moving things over, making sure that they're not in my way. Now, we only are weighing our dry ingredients, so I'm just gonna scooch all of that over and I'm gonna move on to my liquid. So the very first thing that it asks me is to get 1 large egg. So I have my egg in here. I'm going to crack on a flat surface, not on an edge, so I don't get any of my shell into my custard cup. I'm gonna go ahead, crack that egg, and I'm gonna put it to the side. Now I'm going to measure my liquid into my liquid measuring cup. It tells me that I need a 1/2 cup of milk. So remember, I said this is out of 2 cups. I'm looking for the half that's down here, not for where it says 1.5. When I measure in liquid measuring cups, I need to make sure that I do 2 things, that it's on a flat surface and that I'm at eye level. So I think that looks about right, but I'm gonna lean over and I'm gonna make sure it looks like I'm just a little under. So there we go. It looks like I have my 1/2 cup. Now this is all gonna be going into another bowl. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my milk and my egg. My next thing that I'm going to add is my vanilla, which my vanilla also needs to be measured in my teaspoons. So I'm looking for my 1/4. Again, I'm not measuring over top. Even though vanilla is delicious and make things taste good, I don't want too much of it. So I have my 1/2. Now all of this is ready to go and be washed by my partner. The last thing I've done is I've taken my butter. It says 1.5 tablespoons. It will be pre-cut for you. And I've melted it in the microwave. So I'm gonna go ahead and give that a mix around, pour it in with my other liquid ingredients. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a whisk so that my egg gets broken up. And now I have this nice mixture of my dry and my liquid. Okay, so I also want to just give my dry ingredients a mix so that they're fully incorporated before I start mixing my 2 together. So at this point, I'm going to take my liquid and I'm going to add it into my dry. Because this is a batter, you can use a whisk. We don't need to use a rubber spatula, but you can if you'd like. So I'm gonna go ahead, give this a whisk. And you can tell that I have a nice thick batter. I don't need to make it super smooth. That means you're gonna over mix your pancakes. So I have this nice consistency. At this point, if you wanted to add chocolate chips or blueberries, now would be your chance. All right, so we're gonna start off with cooking our pancakes. So I have my skillet heating on my induction burner. I think this is one of the second times we're using our induction burner. So just a reminder that we have to have our pan on or else it will not heat. So don't leave this running for 5 minutes and walk away. We don't want to burn our pancakes. If we let it heat up for too long, we're going to get burnt bottoms. I'm going to be using a portion scoop to scoop onto the skillet. I can get probably 3 to 4 pancakes if I go to my 4 corners in a sense. So I'm going to go ahead and I sprayed with some cooking spray so it's non-stick. I'm going to put about 4 pancakes on at a time. It looks like I'll be able to fit. So how do I know when I'm ready to flip my pancake? I'm gonna get bubbles that come across the top of my pancake and I'm gonna have a nice golden brown. I'm going to use my turner to check the bottoms and see if they're ready to go. It's probably gonna take about 2 minutes on each side of your pancake to get that nice golden crisp. Okay, so now you can see I have these bubbles forming on the edge. So I'm gonna go ahead and give my pancake a little lift. I have a nice golden brown, so I'm looking for that nice crisp. It took about 4 minutes, and you guys can see I have not been moving my pancakes around. You wanna let them cook on each side. So this is the color that I'm looking for. Once I reach this on both sides, your pancakes are done.